Hey folks, welcome to a special MasterThatRiff. I guess like a lot of you out there, last night I was shocked to see Jeff Beck had passed away. The irreplaceable Jeff Beck. I think kind of like Eddie Van Halen, it's a bit of a shock. It's like these ultimate icons you think are going to be around forever. And I saw Jeff Beck live last year. Luckily managed to get to see him live, and he was just immense. You know, no matter what age he was still at the top of his game. So I think it's just a shock to hear of his passing. So I think I had a plan to do a riff tomorrow, but I think I'm going to do just like an off the cuff thing, looking at one of my all-time favourite Jeff Beck kind of tunes, and that's Lead Boots, Off Wired. Now there's a kind of album version, and then there's a version that kind of Jeff Beck played kind of live, and I used to jam in this tune all the time back in the kind of fusion days. So this is kind of the way I would kind of play it, and it's kind of based around the way that kind of Jeff Beck does it. And as I said, this is a very kind of loose format. So what we're going to start with here is 3 chords. We've pretty got like an F minor 11. Now this could be, because it was Jeff Beck's keyboard player, it kind of wrote this tune. There's loads of ways you can play these chords to get this kind of sound. Sometimes Jeff Beck, if he's playing with a keyboard player, I think he might change up his voicing so you get a kind of bigger sound. But what I'm going to do here is pretty much play like 13th fret that E string, and the 13th fret of the D and the G strings. So I'm using my 2nd, 3rd and 4th finger there. So I've got my root, flat 7, minor 3rd, and then that's the fusion note right there. That's your kind of 11th. Yeah. Then what I'm going to do is move that down to an E flat. Yeah. Then what I'm going to play after that is basically this chord here, which is kind of like a B flat with C in the bass. It gives you a kind of 9 sus4 kind of sound if you're thinking of the C. Very kind of floaty, suspended sound. So how I'm playing that is my 3rd finger is going to play 8th fret the E string. My 4th finger plays 8th fret the D string. And my 2nd finger plays a 7th fret of that G. And then my 1st finger plays 6th fret of the B string there. So that's your B flat triad. And then you put the C in the bass. Yeah. So that's our 3 chords. Now because it's Jeff Beck, using the Strat, I give it a good wang with a bar. And I made a dip at the end before we get into the riff. Now, one of the things that's challenging about playing Lead Boots is just the timing and the drums, and trying to keep a sense of the time with what the drums are going on here. So there's a drum fill here, and there's just a little gap just before the riff starts. Yeah, so listen out for that gap, and then you can come in. And the riff that we're going to play now, the record, Jeff Beck plays this in the D and G strings, but live he always played it in the lower strings to give it a bit more oomph, I think. And what we're going to be playing, this is all based around like a G dominant chord. I'm going to play 3-2 on the A string, and then I'm going to play 3-1 on the E string. That's your notes basically. So regards to the G, that's kind of like your like a sus4 or 11th. Then you get your 3rd, and the root, and the flat 7. So the riff is really rooted in that kind of dominant chord sound. So you play that on the beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So to begin with, you kind of have these different variations, or you do. Yeah. Now, obviously I'm playing with the fingers here in tribute to the great man, but there's different ways you can do that. So you got that kind of feel, or you can... Then you do a little staccato feel on that F, that 1st fret of the E string. And you can hammer onto the 3rd fret there, or pick it. Or you hit that note twice. So there's lots of different ways you can play it, so as long as you get that main gist of the riff. Yeah, so that's kind of the kind of riff, main riff A, if you will. Then what we're going to do is play almost like kind of the melody part. So what we're doing here is we're going to go up to the 15th fret area, and the way you can think about this, you know, I've seen this called loads of different things, from dominant pentatonic to like Indian scale to whatever. It's very synonymous with Jeff Beck's playing. The way I think about it is I'm seeing like G7 chord tones. up at this 15th fret, or you can think of the G pentatonic minor, but you're seeing where the major third is, and this is a great song for that Mixolydian G dominant kind of area for jamming in. So what we're going to start with is a lead in 3 notes. So I'm playing 17th fret the A string, then 15, 17 in the D, to land in beat 1 with that 15th fret of the G string there. Now what I'm doing is I'm bending that to get the major third sound. On the recording I think he actually plays the major third, but to get that kind of Jeff Beck bendiness, if you will, you could slide into that. So you do your slide, 15, 17, 15th fret on that G string, bend up the major third. Then I play 17th fret the D string twice, and then I do the 17, 15 in the G string. Again, you can put a bend in that. Yeah. Then we have this little bit that's going to do 18th fret in the B string, 17th fret in the B string. Yeah, so you're getting a kind of cool kind of chord tones here. Then 15th fret, and then what I'm going to do is slide from the 15th to the 16th fret up to that major third, and then 20th fret of that B string there. So all together that's kind of your notes, and it's really up to you how you kind of play through them. Oh, before you do the little slide, make sure you get 17th fret the G string there, and then slide up to hit that 20th fret. I might use the whammy bar as well. You know, to get more of that kind of Beckism in there with the whammy bar. And that's pretty much that part of it, and you can play that, you know, you play that a couple of times, you can do do a bend there, and then some sort of fill. Then what he typically does live is he plays it down an octave, and it's pretty much the same thing, just down at the 3rd fret here. So again, I'd slide to the 5th fret in that A string, then I'd do 3rd, 5th fret in the D string, then I've got the bend, 3rd fret the G string, maybe a little half step bend, and then 5th fret the D string twice, and then 5, 3 on that G string. And then from, you're doing it down an octave, so it's now 6, 5, 3 on the B string, and then 5 in the G string. And then a slide, 3 to 4 on that G string, and then 6th fret on the B string there, or you can go like a trill. Loads of different things you can do with this. That's your main notes though. Yeah, so that's kind of your melody part of it, the melody part of the riff. Then we have this really cool funky riff that's not actually played in the guitar in the original, but Jeff Beck obviously plays it live. Looking at how he plays it up here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to be playing like a C octave. Now Jeff Beck plays it with his thumb and third finger. So I'm playing 8th fret the E string, then I'm going to do 10th fret the G string. Okay, that's nice even 8ths and the staccato feel to it. Yeah. Then I'm going to slide 8, 7 in the D string there, and then I'm going to play 10 on the A and then 10 in the D string with a little bar. I might use my 4th finger that. So slowly that kind of goes. Yeah. Then what I'm going to do is descending octaves, B flat, A. So this is the way Jeff Beck plays it, and sometimes he plays it down here to be honest, but most of the time he plays it up here. So I'm playing 6th fret the E string, and 8th fret of that D string. I use my thumb and 4th finger. You can do thumb and 3rd finger, whatever. Then you do 5 in the E, 7 in the D. Then you have this little fill at the end. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing open G string. Then I'm going to do 3rd fret the D string, 3rd fret the A string, and then 1st fret of that A string. Okay. This is all over a C dominant chord, this bit. It's also in 7/4, which has got a cool kind of, you know, way of counting it. You know, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then it repeats. But this is all kind of chord tones. You know, so you're ending in that flat 7 there, just like you do in the main riff in G. So slowly that bit sounds like this. Yeah, now that's quite a jump. You know, you could play this down here. So you could do. You know, play it like that. But Jeff Beck plays it up here, and I guess that's just the way he kind of sees it descending down. Yeah. So that's it. That's the kind of the 3-minute riffs, I guess. You've got this bit down here. You know, and after you do that funky bit, you're back to the main riff again. You know, throw in some harmonics. It's a great, great tune, and you know, there's so many iconic bits of Jeff Beck kind of guitar playing. He's just one of those guys that never stayed still. You know, if you think about his lineage and playing with the Yardbirds and all the way through, and you know, Rod Stewart and all the kind of collaboration to things he does, it's amazing, really, the scope of the man's musicality and the sounds that he got at the guitar. I don't think anyone will ever be able to kind of replicate. It's really hard trying to play those kind of Beck things with the arm. He just really made that an extension of his kind of musical self. So he's going to be sorely missed. But I hope you enjoyed that quick kind of off-the-cuff lesson for Lead Boots. See if you can chuck it on and then jam along. So rest in peace, Jeff.